Today in Little Black Dress, we talked about the importance of food planning. Food planning doesn't only help you stay on track, it'll help you save a little bit of money as well. You'll be taking account of what you want to have for your breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks throughout the week. And that'll help you pull together a shopping list which will allow you to buy the products that you really need. So it should cut down on those shops that cost a fortune, and whenever you get home, you have a lot of things that you can't really make much from. So the power is in the food plan. But today we focused on Monday to Friday. I think if we haven't been planning for food for a while, it could be enough to ask you just to do it for Monday to Friday. But if you feel that you can do it Monday through to Sunday, then go right ahead. We talked about how we balance our meals throughout the day. We talked about our breakfasts, our lunches, and our dinners. So for me, I always do it Monday to Sunday because I'm used to doing it by now. But for this one, it was Monday to Friday, and we dotted down the side. We have breakfast, we have a power snack, we have lunch, we have a power snack, and we have our dinner. And we always make room down the bottom for our snacks and treats because it's important to incorporate those in. What's really important is to consider what you're having in each meal. And by making out a plan, you're balancing because you may find that you have carbs for your breakfast, you may find that you have cereal for your breakfast with milk and a piece of fruit. So you might not necessarily want to snack on more fruit here and more fruit down below later on. We're having a chicken salad with a low-fat dressing for our lunch. We did have a little bit of coleslaw on the side. There's nothing wrong with that. You can have everything in moderation. Just keep everything nicely balanced. And then your dinner later on in the evening, we talked about how we could maybe have some ribs, some steak, some homemade chips, and what we would have with that. So maybe we would go for some sweet corn and peas, or we might go for another little bit of salad, or some green beans or broccoli, and keeping that balance there on the plate so as we do have our carbs, our protein, and our vegetables. Lots of healthy vegetables. They will help fill you up, but they will also be packed full of all of those super nutrients that we need to keep our bodies ticking over. When you start to do one day, you will get into the hang of having your breakfast and your lunch and your dinner and deciphering, how much carb or how many carbs you're having on a daily basis. Maybe you'll find that when you do your first one out, you have cereal for breakfast and a sandwich for lunch. And that can happen really easily, especially if we don't make a plan out. You might wake up and think, I don't know, open the cupboard, I don't know what I'm going to have today. And you opt for the cereal and the milk, and that's you. And then a little while later, you might find that you get a bit hungry. And you might reach for a piece of fruit, or you might reach for a few biscuits. And then you get to lunch, and you're in the same situation. What do I have? Well, I have a sandwich. You only have white bread, and you maybe only have ham. So you make yourself a ham sandwich, which is really not filled with very good nutrients. If you're going to make the sandwich up, try and go for a brown bread, and try and get that salad in there as well, or have something on the side. Maybe even a bowl of homemade soup. So there's lots of things that can be seen from making lots of benefits from your food plan. So make sure that you do start doing them. You don't need a fancy template, you don't need a fancy book. A piece of paper is all you really need, and set it somewhere where it will keep you on plan. There's no point dedicating the time to doing it if you're not going to actually follow it. Make sure that you allow yourself the treats. Make sure if you want to have a glass of wine that you add it in. If you're going to have a glass of wine on a couple of nights of the week, then add those in with the treats you're going to have and when you're going to have them. And maybe try and allocate one night where you might have a little bit more, or maybe you want to save them for that night. And that'll be a real benefit to you, especially if you're trying to get your weight back down to target, you're trying to lose a little bit of weight, or maybe you just want to stay the same. There's benefits for everybody. And there's also, don't forget, people who also want to gain a little bit of weight. They might want to increase their muscle mass. You want to be able to make out your plan that includes enough protein and enough carbs in it that allow you to reach your goals as well. So we're not talking strictly about weight loss here. We're talking about planning for your body and your needs. I'm going to upload this now so as you can get a full week's plan at a glance, see what you think of it. It won't be for everybody because it's just what I'm predicting that people may want to eat at that time of the day. But hopefully there'll be a day and some meals that you can combine together that will benefit you. Have a great week and see you next week for our next little black dress class.